Bonds hits one high. It's a dig. It is out of here. This is caught. Diggs. Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable. Bryant for the win. Bang. Watch out. He's got getting away from the top speed.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another SGN video where it's all Sim all the time. Today's video, we are bringing you the video you guys have been waiting for if you're 2K fans, right? This is the MyNBA Reborn scenario, and I'm so excited to bring this to you guys. We're doing things completely different this year, all right? Normally, I drop the gameplay sliders first, a MyNBA setup video, and then I get to the scenario, but no. This year, we're flipping things around. Those videos are still coming, but we're dropping the MyNBA Reborn scenario for you first. And I'm back, partnered up with Celtic LG. We had a couple years apart due to reasons that were just beneficial for my. I mean, we had Xbox and PlayStation. There was no SharePlay, crossplay, and so I couldn't really continue to use something that was only for PlayStation users. Xbox was behind, or vice versa, right? So we're back now. We got crossplay uploads and stuff like that. So I'm super excited to be back working with him. And in this video, we're doing things, like I said, differently. So I'm going to let you guys know we are not covering any of the sliders in this video. They're already in the scenario for you. We're going to cover all that in a different video. What I am going to do is extensively cover the things you need to do in your MyNBA to make sure you have a good experience, because 2K does not test this mode. They don't care about this mode. It's honestly a flaming pile of dog shit at this point with how it functions. And so there are several things you need to do holding the CPU's hand, essentially, to make sure the game doesn't get completely broken with your MyNBA experience that makes you want to quit and delete it forever. So please bear with me. I'm going to teach you guys things that are important. So please watch this video for this information. You're going to appreciate it. And it's very frustrating when I drop information that I know you guys are going to need and nobody watches it and puts in the comments, hey, and they ask this question, and I'm like, bro, it's in the video. So if you guys, I'm just letting you know right now, if you ask questions that are answered in the video, I'm just going to tell you, watch the video, because it's in there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, ask you to please make sure you watch this video for that information. Number two, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. I'm getting so close to my goal of 15,000 that I set at the beginning of January to hit 15,000 by the end of the year. We're 2 months away. Help me get that goal, please. I really appreciate you. Also, three, if you're here because you like 2K Sim content, man, like this video so other people who like simulation, NBA 2K, MyNBA experiences will see this video and get this amazing content from myself and Celtics that put together this content for you. And speaking of Celtic, man, I really want you guys to support him. He also has this really cool thing he uses called the random event generator. He put together this file, this spreadsheet that you can use that will give you 240 different random events that you can populate throughout the season to create a different, more exciting experience. PB the Plug, if you watch any of his videos, man, he uses this all the time and he loves it. And because I know a lot of people aren't really sure what the random event generator is, I went ahead and had Celtic put together a video for you guys to go ahead and have him explain it to you himself, the random event generator. Let's go, Celtic, take it away.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this quick guide of our random event generator. This file is designed to replicate the real NBA life during your personal save. Trade requests, team drama, players coming out of nothing, and even fights. All based on real events that happened and happen every single year in the NBA. We know that every season is not just basketball games, and with over 240 scenarios, you'll live in your unique NB universe. Let's see how the file works. First of all, select the period of the year you're in. The menu on the right will suggest how many times you can use the generator during that particular period. Every tab has its own random number generator. Insert 0 or 1 in the menu in the event, and its description will pop up. Then, if needed, on the right side of the tab, you can draw a team, and then draw a player from that team with the other generator below. Every event has its own notes too. That will suggest you how many times that particular event can happen every month or season. On the last tab, you'll also have the personal reasons generator. So We just started our own save and I select the Detroit Pistons as my team for this particular example. We're in the pre-deadline period, so the file suggests me to draw 1 or 2 events per week. As we begin our season, let's go to draw the events section and insert 0 or 1. 0 is already there, so I'll insert 1. This is our scenario, number 17. G League standout. Select one two-way player. Increase all the shooting attributes, layup, close, mid-range, three-point, and by 5, offensive consistency by 10, and all the other attributes by 3. Increase shoot and touch tendency by 10. Now, let's go to draw a team. Leave the number of teams as 30. You can put as many teams as you have in your own save. Team drawn is number 2. In the table, 2 means the Nets. So we'll take one of their two-way players. We can draw which one of the 3 players will receive a boost with a random number generator, or we can select him and boost all of his shooting attributes and also his shoot and touch tendencies. That will give him a chance to be a rotation player in the future, maybe immediately. This is just one of over 240 scenarios. We covered every single phase of the season: trade deadline, playoffs, summer league, training camp, and more. And let's have a great year of sim basketball.
All right, thank you, Celtic. And guys, that information, the link to his Patreon and on Operation Sports with everything that you just saw right there is going to be pinned in the comment section below. Please go support him. It's literally a one-time purchase. It's a couple of bucks. You'll have it for forever. You don't have to buy it every single year. It's just a one-time thing. Please support him. Also want to give a big shout out before we go into a good friend of mine, Scorpio Sky. Helped me test this a lot. Put in a lot of time running tests for contracts, trades, progression, regression, things like that. So shout out to you, Scorpio. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for helping out. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to start in the off season, you guys. I want to go through this because this is where the game kind of falls apart a little bit. One thing I do want to make note of is you really, as you can see, I already have all 32 team control, but obviously you're only going to control your one team as you're playing. I highly recommend that when you get to the NBA draft, so from everything after pre-draft workouts, so from NBA draft, at the NBA draft, you need to take control of all 32 teams. Okay, here is why. I did cover this a little bit in the 2K's Broken video, but we'll go over it a little bit more here. Teams, number 1, teams do not trade any draft picks. So here's your options for the NBA draft. I should clarify. Teams do not trade any draft picks if you simulate. They make no trades if you simulate during the draft. If you are in the draft and you sit there and wait for all the picks to go through, lots of trades come up. Really cool. But unfortunately, if you want to simulate it and you just want to do your pick and then get out of there, no trades will happen. So you either need to take control of teams and make some trades happen or sit in there. I'll let you choose what you want to do, but you definitely need to do that, especially if there's teams with lots of draft picks. There are some teams that have 5, 6 draft picks. Thunder, Nets, so on. You need to have them trade some of those draft picks because, and if you decide to not take control of all 30 teams for the NBA draft, I think I said 32 earlier, football's been on my mind, sorry, I meant 30. You definitely need to do it for rookie signing because CPU will sign every single one of their draft picks. First round, second round, doesn't matter. Overall, it does not matter. They sign them all. This creates lots of problems. Number 1, it fills up rosters. So if you have a team like the Nets or the Thunder that have 6 draft picks and they sign 5, 6 guys, they have to come up with those roster spots somewhere. So even if they had 5 guys on expiring deals, they're going to let them go. They're going to let them go regardless if they're a good player or not, or someone that they should keep. And then they're not going to be active in free agency because their roster's full. Or to be active in free agency, they're going to release players that are under contract, have dead cap, then not really be able to do much financially because they have dead cap. So it causes a lot of problems. So you need to go into rookie signing and go through for every single team and honestly unsign the majority of their second round picks, because they can get signed later to two-way contracts or whatever, but you need to make sure that you have to hold the CPU's hand on that. Team and player options is another one. Honestly, the options are pretty decent here, but I would go through and just, again, hold the CPU's hand, make sure that they offer the right players the options when it's a team option, and decline the right ones as well. It takes again, your off season is going to take longer than it normally should, but this is what's needed to create balance. So just double check the CPU's work here. Qualifying offers as well. This is another one. The issue isn't so much the CPU making the right qualifying offer, it's that they like to rescind it after they make the offer. So I definitely recommend go through, make sure all 30 teams give the proper players qualifying offers and maintain that. And then the other thing is that really sucks is even if they have the qualifying offer there, a lot of times when you get in the moratorium within day one, the team will rescind that qualifying offer, and they will renounce players and lose their bird rights. I've done a lot of sims. I'll tell you right now, just testing things, mostly contracts, progression, regression, things like that. This is big, so you really need to stay in control of all 30 teams. For sure through just simulate the whole first day of the moratorium. Make sure teams do not renounce their bird rights. I would almost recommend staying through second day of moratorium and only the third day of moratorium going back to just your team. Gotta hold the CPU's hand. I would also recommend whenever you do switch back to just your team to let the CPU take control for the Rollinator free agency, I would create a separate save. That way if the CPU does some really stupid crap, and you're like, oh snap, I didn't think they were going to do that, you can just jump back to that save and go in there and make sure that team does not do that. I mean, guys, I literally saw in one of my sims, the Kings just waived De'Aaron Fox. He was an 88 overall. Waived his bird rights. Just let him walk. They didn't even replace him. They could have signed him, went over the cap. They just let him go. It happens so many times, guys. The CPU is so stupid. And because of all the players from the draft picks and things like that, it's just a headache. So those are some things you guys definitely need to do in your off season. Like I said, once you get through free agency, though, you can just go back to your team, and ideally, you just need to get through moratorium a little bit, and then you can go back to your team. And the CPU really can't screw much else up after that. So for this example, we're going to go ahead and simulate to the next season. We're going to go over a couple more things, and then we're ready to go ahead and get you guys the MyNBA Reborn information for you guys to start playing right away. Draft classes. All right, so we're using Celtics roster. He told me there are 2 different users out there that make draft classes that work with the way they do their edits, and I have them right here. I want to make sure I get them right. So the first one that we're going to want to use is, let me see here. All right, so we have them right here. Joda Kelmer is one that you guys can use. And then Richie2K. I don't know if he's going to show up right here or not. I can search him if he doesn't. But it's really Richie2K. R-I-C-H-I-E 2K. Let's just do this. Search by online ID. Rich. Oops. There we go. So right now they have 2025 drafts out there. They will continue to drop draft classes as you go. Celtics is also working on one as well. So just keep that in mind as you're going through. But you're going to want to use those 2 guys as gamer tags for the draft classes. For the sake of this video, we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to go to auto-generated rookies because I want to get through a couple other things for you guys that I think are important. Number 1, trade frequency. So we are going to talk about that. We're doing things a little bit differently with trades this year. Trades. All right. So trade frequency. From the start of the season to about 3 to 4 weeks before the NBA trade line, you're going to have this at 35. All right, we don't have a ton of trades at this part of the season. Everyone just got signed. You have a lot of rules preventing, players from getting traded, whatever. And we know that you can trade players to a team and then trade them right away if they don't play a game. But 2K doesn't understand that. They don't have that option in there. So it's either follow the rule or you don't, right? We have, you have the stipend rule. You have the rookie signing restriction, recently traded restriction, and stuff like that. So we're going to go 35. So like I said, about a month before the trade deadline, 3 to 4 weeks before the trade deadline, you're going to jack this up to 75. And you are going to leave that through the draft, through the off-season period, because when this picks back up is going to be in the draft where we see a lot of trades, and it's going to happen in free agency where we see a lot of trades as well. So you're only going to drop this back to 35 when you advance to the new season. You drop it back there. So make sure you make note of that. If you forget, you're going to see a lot of trades at the start of the season that you should not be seeing. But we're going to do that differently, so we're not getting all these trades popping up in October, November, December, and we only see the trades really pop up in January and February as they should. So that's the big one. Number 2, I am doing intangible edits. I've done global intangible edits for a couple years now. Now, disclaimer. Celtic does not do the intangible edits, for the reason that in real life certain players will start over others even if their ratings are lower or however it may be, and so he does intangibles to make sure certain players start over other players. Since you can't force a player to start in 2K, you can only force them to be a non-starter. If you want to use Celtic's roster without the intangible edits, I will have the MyNBA file uploaded for you to grab his roster, download everything, and then go. This particular MyNBA Reborn scenario is going to have my intangible edits. I do intangible edits for one reason only. It helps balance out the ratings progression year over year. It's that simple. And before I teach you guys what we're doing for intangibles this year, there's a lot of people who want to argue intangibles, right? I've been telling you guys that it's just a tool that 2K uses to get a player's overall where they want it. You can go, the minimum it goes is 25, the maximum is 99, and that'll fluctuate a player's overall by 5. So if it's at 99, if Joel Embiid's intangible is a 99 right now, and we drop it to 25, it'll lower his overall to an 88. That's a tool that they use to just play with the player's overall to get where they want it if how they give the player their ratings doesn't get the overall that they really want. And so many people don't believe me because 2K Labs did a test on this like 2K17, and they came out and said players who had higher intangibles seem to make more shots at the end, blah, 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 blah. Like, I trust 2K Labs a lot for a lot of things, but I don't think that's true, and I don't think there's really any way to prove that because there's so many different variables in 2K. There's 2 ways I'm going to go ahead and say that, well, there's really one way I would say that I don't believe that before I go ahead and teach you guys the edits. Number one, if you go through and look in the roster, you'll see that there are some certified, like bona fide all-star players that have a lower intangible than some guys you might have never heard of. So that makes no sense. Number two, the best way to find out what intangible is to go into the progression slider. Okay, this is the only place where we get an exact definition of what 2K says the intangible slider is. Are you curious? Are you guys curious what the intangible is? Because 2K will tell you. And I think this proves my point that it's just a ratings overall booster or nerfer, right? Let's go ahead and scroll through a progression and intangibles right here. The description is innate and undefinable aspects to the player's game. Bro, if this was literally the quote-unquote clutch trait that is what 2K Labs said it is, why wouldn't you just say that? A player's ability to hit shots in late game situations and with the shot clock winding down. They say it's undefinable. It's This is staring you in the face that intangibles literally do nothing but affect a player's overall. I don't want to hear people arguing on this anymore. And when I lower intangibles and play with intangibles, yes, the ratings are going to look different, you guys, but the players play the same because this impacts the player's overall by 5 points. So an 84 overall with 99 intangible, you drop him down to 79 because you drop his intangible 25. He plays the same at 79 as he did at 84. So please, guys, do not get hung up on the overalls. This is how we get balance in the game. This is the only way to get balance in the game. So we are doing a different method this year for the intangibles. After every single offseason, you're going to go and you're going to hit quick edit. You're going to scroll to all players. You're going to scroll to intangible. You're going to do the entire column. And you need to reset it after every offseason. This whole thing takes about 5 minutes. I'm not going to do it all on video, but I'm going to show you how quickly and easy you can do this. So you're going to drop this till every single player is at 25. Okay? Then you're going to bump this up. This is new this year. We're giving every single player a base of 35 intangible. Now this is key. Once you have the 35, you cannot instantly go in and then start doing our edits. You have to hit, watch, I want you to pay attention to Anthony Edwards here. Just pay attention. I want you to hit exit. You want to hit confirm. See, he bumped up. So the players get sorted differently after you drop all their players to 35 and then you save it. Now we actually have the overall sorted correctly based on everyone having the 35 intangible. Now you're going to go back in and you are going to go to intangible, but you're going to do it on an individual basis. And you are going to do the top 15 players are going to be 99 and the next 15 are 75. That's it. We're going to keep a top 30. Everyone else is going to be 35 intangible. This is going to get you that top 30 player separation that we've been doing the last couple of years. We're just switching up the formula this year than we've done the last couple of years. So as you can see, Jokic is overall is just going up, going up, going up. Wembanyama's is just going up as well. That's all this thing does, you guys. That is all this thing does. And so you're just going to go through, like I said, do 15 for 99s. And to make it really easy for you guys, you can see 10 players on a screen here. So you just know you've done 10. And then you go down here and you've done, once you get to Jaylen Brown, he'd be 15. Then Ja Morant is going to get, he's an 86 with a 35. You're going to bump him up to a 75. And Ja Morant's now an 89. I think people are going to find a lot of the overalls are going to look a lot better on the top name players when you do these edits. There are going to be some players who are like, man, he's too low. But again, don't focus on that. Focus on the fact that he's going to play the same as if he had 5 overall points higher. So we'll go find an example of that. Let's just see who's not going to be in the list. Probably Sabonis. Sabonis isn't going to be in the list. He's too far down. Or Sengun. He's going to play the same as an 84 as he would if you bumped this all the way up to a 99 and he was an 88 overall. He's going to play the same. It's just not as aesthetically pleasing to see 84 versus 88. But I do promise you guys, as you continue through, because I've done a lot of progressions, he will get up there. He will get up there. Same with Chet, man. Their ratings do go up, right? So there's definitely going to be some players you just have to understand that, oh, you see Steph's an 82. He's really playing like an 86, 87. So just keep that in mind. Please do not focus too much on the overalls. If, of course, you just absolutely can't handle the fact that a certain player is rated a certain way, just go mess with the intangible, man. This is your world. Make sure you have fun. I just do this to help have the balance with the progression, because progression is completely broken this year. The impacts don't seem to change much based on the progression slider. I tested progression slider at 0, in-season training effects at 0. Had little to no impact. I had to go crazy different routes to try to get progression nerfed a little bit. But that is it for that, for everything there, guys. Now I'm going to give you what you're all here for, this scenario. And I'm sorry I made you watch through all this, but I think it's extremely important that I covered all the things you guys need to do with contracts, qualifying offers, signing draft picks, trading draft picks, the intangibles, and going over Celtics content as well. I think that's extremely important for you guys going forward. So now the scenario, everything is uploaded for you. You're going to go to 2K, you're going to go to 2K Share Scenario, and this is going to be ready for you guys to roll. You just have to pick your team. You're going to create new, obviously, and then I do not give out my gamer tag for the sole purpose of I give my YouTube members exclusive content. So we do have it uploaded under 2 different gamer tags. So we have, it's called MyNBA Reborn Official number 1. You can see it right here. Lily Ladini, I don't know how to say that, but it's right here. Or a good buddy of mine, JV for MVP. It's easier kind of catch to it. MyNBA Reborn Official. So these are not my gamer tags. These are uploaded for everybody else so that people can download those, but then I can still give my my YouTube members exclusive downloads and stuff like that. Anyway, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you for checking it out and hanging out and watching this video, man. I hope you appreciate it. Hope you have a great time in 2K. And as always, stay tuned to the next one. Peace.